the station taking action for you. This is ABC Action News.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Dan Schaefer.
Dia Riley is off this noon. I'm Ashley Glass. First this noon, this developing story we're tracking now. Testimony just getting underway in the trial of a man accused of tossing a young infant out of a moving car. Richard McTear faces a potential death sentence if convicted. Our Bill Logan now in downtown Tampa at the courthouse following these proceedings. Bill?
And it took almost a week, actually a week exactly, to get a jury seated in this trial because of all the publicity. And I will tell you, this is a very memorable story for me and for a lot of people here in this area. Mr. McTear accused of throwing that baby out of the car along I-275 over 4 years ago. A lot of testimony that is going to be very tough in this case. And probably the toughest about this is that the infant, Emmanuel Murray, who was thrown out of that car or was found dead on the interstate, he would have been going to preschool this week. Richard McTear came into court looking a lot different than when we first encountered him 4 years ago, when he's accused of taking his girlfriend's baby from her Tampa apartment and throwing little Emmanuel Murray out of a moving car along I-275. It was and remains to this day one of the most unsettling news stories I've ever covered.
Because the state is going to provide evidence to you that will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this man, Richard McTear, is a murderer. That on May 5th of 2009, Richard McTear murdered Emmanuel Murray, who at the time was an infant less than 4 months old.
After a week's worth of jury selection, the prosecution opened today's proceedings in what could be a death penalty case, saying it was McTear who broke into Jasmine Badwell's apartment and, in a fit of rage, threw the infant in a car seat against the wall, then took that infant in his car.
Much of the testimony will be in conflict. And this is especially true with the testimony of Jasmine Bedwell. And it will be your job to decide what testimony you can believe and what testimony you cannot believe.
The defense countering with a news story of another person taking the child and insisting McTear had nothing to do with the death. Initial witnesses have just started their testimony this morning in what could be a long, gruesome trial. And part of what's going to be so gruesome about this trial will be the testimony of little Emmanuel Murray's mother. She has had a number of different stories, and those stories will come out during the proceedings today and through this week. It should be very interesting to see what this other story that Mr. McTear is maintaining, that he had nothing to do with this baby's death. We'll be here all day and through the week with the complete coverage of this online and on air. For now, though, we're live in downtown Tampa. Bill Logan, ABC Action News.